expenditure framework and other relevant tools that will determine or otherwise the progress and the economic position of the country. Do you think any other agency or any body is authority to tell you that we are in full picture of the financial position of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Do you think you can say authoritatively that we know our financial position as a country?
Thank you very much. I think we should allow her to take this set of questions.
Because I've been going back from what Right Honorable Jampa said, and for the inability to, bring out a financial statement for a year does not give us, a proper outlook as to what is the financial situation of this nation. My worry is, because the way, my understanding from the Accountant General is that for you to be able to do a financial statement for the preceding year, the closing balance of the previous year has to be certified, has to be audited before you can have an opening, balance for the preceding year. So if the trend, my problem is that if the trend continues that way, and going by the implications that you have mentioned, investors, because it's just like us doing business. We're into business. At the end of the financial year, we need to know how we look financially before we go into the next year. It's the same thing, for a country. We need to know our financial situation before we go into the... And for us here, we are hearing that for us to be able to continue, that we need a certified closing balance. We need a certified for us to be able to open. So if the trend continues that way, that's how we'll be going on as a country. I mean, is that the position?
Thank you very much. Fine.
Not just to know for the record, the financial report that we are talking about every year is supposed to have every year. What's the pathway?
That was the first question I asked. Thank you, Honorable.
The question starts with the timeline for the preparation and submission of the financial statement. According to the reporting financial regulation and also Fiscal Responsibility Act, it is 6 months after the end of the accounting year.
Which means what now? When is the end of the financial year? So which month?
June. Let's allow June of the preceding, June of the year following the accounting year.
Which means by the 31st of May of the succeeding year, the report is due.
So by 30th June.
By 31st of June.
The submission of the financial statement is a prerequisite for determining the financial health of a nation. So I'm just referring to the implication. So because the consolidated financial statement gives information to all the stakeholders, Nigerians at large, foreigners, investors, for the purpose of taking decisions that affects their day-to-day activities. So definitely, inability to prepare and submit one will affect decision making. Then on the issue of the payment system.
No, ma. Before you go, you have not finished answering that. By implication, by the answer you gave now, it's like there is a default in the observance of those procedures of those requirements of the law for 2 years. So, what are the reasons? You have not told us what happened. Is it just that people decided that, well, We know that the law is that by the 30th of June must have submitted, but we didn't do it and we are moving on. What are the factors? Because, okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Maybe I should have started because the question asked for the implication of non-submission. So, but there is another question that also asked for why were they not submitted, which I've mentioned in the course of my opening speech, and also want to confirm that when an annual financial statement is concluded, the closing balances of that financial statement will form the opening balances of the following year account, and that is the only area that have not been allowing us to conclude any annual financial statement, because the conclusion, the closure, the opening balances that we require has not been made available. Just like I said, the 2020 is ready and submitted, but because it has not been concluded, we cannot transfer the closing balances of 2020 to conclude that of 2021. And I also mentioned that on our part, we have done just like a framework, just waiting for the balances to be available and for us to, because it has to be one audited that we carry forward to another year. I think I'm moving to another. Then on the issue of the giving system, I want to assure you, the honorable members of this committee, that the payment system is okay, it's done, it doesn't have any security issue. But we cannot rule out, just like we are all operating bank accounts and their banking system, you receive alert for payment you never initiated. That may happen, but it doesn't happen with this payment system. On this payment, this government integrated financial information system, it is only if there is any compromise that can happen, which I cannot authoritatively tell you that I know what all the players in the system have in mind to do. But as soon as it happens, because the system is the server and everything is domiciled, but in the office of the Accountant General, the data center is there, everything is there, but it can be accessed from any part of the country by the users that have been enrolled, that have the authority to access it. It cannot be accessed by any other user except the users that are already enrolled to operate on that system. Same thing with the IPPIS. Whatever happened to any of these systems are being done by, if there is any issue of compromise, are being done by those that have the access, that are given the access right, not by anybody who doesn't have the access right. And we also know that we trace them, we track them, and we follow up on them where such information happens. And day in, day out, the systems are audited. We have series of efforts to ensure that, because it is a system that requires updating regularly to be able to meet up with the demand. Because sometimes at the beginning, the number of users of the system were very minimal, but as of today, it has increased tremendously. So the update we continue to do to ensure that it doesn't fail. These are the efforts that we are making, and also ensuring that the security of the system is assured. So there are a series of applications that are in place to monitor that. The Sovereign Trust Fund has there is an office that has the authority to manage that fund. So it's the office that is responsible for its management. Just the last question on knowing the financial position. As we have all, as I've said earlier, without concluding the financial statement and sign that this is the financial statement of Federal Republic of Nigeria for the year 2020, 2021 or 2022, it may be difficult to use any information. But it is not out of place that they have threat after we do publish the maybe the allocation of funds to states and local government. So whoever wants that information can visit the website and obtain, and no other information that are on the website can be accessed to take decision. But the real financial statement until it is available, that is what users of financial statement can rely upon and make use of. Thank you so much.
Please put off your microphone, ma'am.
Just like we all know is that an information has to be timely as well as has to be accurate. I'm worried at this time. I understand the issue of open balance, and then closing balance because of timing of audit. For how long can we stay? And by the time we are not getting the information, is it not getting stale? What else can we do such that people that need this information will have an information that is accurate as much as possible and also timely? I think that is important. The second one is that how consolidated is this consolidated account? I asked that because of someone that asked about NSIA. Is it reflected in the account one way or the other? The fact that this country has assets that is worth so much, somewhere. If you take an FHA, for instance, how are they reflected in this consolidated account? A typical, an average, polytechnic or university, how are they reflected in this account that is meant to be a consolidated account of the country? So it's important just for us to know. Of course, by the time we begin to look at what we have, we reflect it, but we also have an idea so that we can begin to figure out. So I'm interested in this.
Thank you, sir.
Timeliness of this information and then the issue of the extent of this consolidation.
Thank you very much, Honorable Papa Miso.
My sister, is so many mechanisms. You said are in place. But what happened to the question of the deputy chair about double payment of some polytechnics? You did not answer that question. Secondly, in the month of June, in the consolidated financial statements under the current liability, items that are supposed to be account payable, such as VAT, excellent tax, stamp duties, are appearing. Why do we have this type of payables? Or is it that the VAT and deduction of VAT is not being done properly? I think these payables are not supposed to be as balances.
Thank you, Honorable.
Number one, I want to know how would you consolidate convenience of the IBIS in order to maintain an efficient and trustworthy payroll system for the country. Secondly, because last time I saw you had to meet with the management of IBIS. Secondly, is what mechanism are you putting in place to protect the challenges of this IBIS? The third one is the financial regulation 2009 states that agencies are expected to submit their profit account on or before 34th of May each year.
I actually want to address the committee as well as the Accountant General. The committee, when we talk to our chairman, we say this is the only committee that is enunciated in the Constitution. And the reason is that we want to see the other side of governance from this community. So the issue we are raising here, they are very important issues. We are talking about the accounting process of the country, and we should be serious and be serious with it. My colleague mentioned that there are double payment by IPPS. That was not addressed at all by the Accountant General. And I know, and she knows, that there are a lot of problems in IPPS. And she said that they do auditing of IPPS regularly. I doubt it. Because from my experience with them, they collect, for example, I just want to give an example. They collect a National Housing Fund from MDs, and they are supposed to remit to Federal Mortgage Bank. But as we speak, they've collected close to over 20 billion unremitted. And these are supposed to be from in and out, unremitted. And gentlemen, when we mention IPPS, there are also some individual companies that they call the gateways. Gateways are businessmen. So there are a lot of problems endemic in IPPS, and these are the people that handles not only payment, even revenue generation. I think that holistically, this committee, as a constituent committee, should take the issue of the Accountant General vis-a-vis the IPPS very seriously. Secondly, I will expect the Accountant General to elucidate on the punishment that has been meted to people that erred as a result of the outcome of the Auditor General. Because remember we said so that in our unveiling of the implementation tribunal. But before we achieve that, we learned that various previous audited reports have been treated to dustbin levity. None is being done with it. I want to know from the Office of Accountant General, who has been punished as a result of the outcome of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Okay, I hope the Auditor General will not push back to you. That one to you.
Let me appreciate the Accountant General. I know the responsibility is enormous, but prior to you coming on board, I am aware that there are some staff of that IPPIS that have engaged in some kind of, just to buttress on this IPPIS thing, employment slots have been taken by IPPIS from several agencies. Not only payment, but they have really exchanged some deals with some agencies. And to a point, Mr. Chairman, because I think this honorable committee will need to really probe IPPIS on that employment stuff, to a point where if an agency is not in favor of IPPIS or is not in good book of IPPIS, they shut down their payment. And those agencies don't get paid for that employment that occur as some kind of punishment. And now that you're on board, mine is, please look into it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
financial reports, and she did mention that it helps to inform decision of investors. Now, we are talking about unsubmitted report for 2021 and 2022. That's an issue that this constitutional committee, first of all, have to deal with. But I want her to expressly tell us what has happened in the last 2 years, considering the fact that these reports are not ready and how it has affected investors' confidence. So I want her to respond to that.
Okay, Honorable Yamba.
Remind the Accountant General that we have a duty of care. I want to respond partially to some of the questions, with some of your time permission.
You want to help her to respond to the questions?
Yes, because, Mr. Chairman, under your leadership, we are driving the Auditor General of the Federation bill. And in that bill, the issue of punishment or penalty for breach of submission is part of the thing we are trying to amend. Because the existing law in the present financial instruction is not enough punishment for the breach.
Yeah, Honorable, you know I was jokingly saying it that I hope that the Accountant will not push it back to,
yes,
to Honorable Adelekbe.
this is one. Secondly, Accountant General, I think you also will help tell the law that we need. Because lack of financial statement at the end of the year, as she related, is because we lack a substantive Auditor General of the Federation to sign it. These are factors beyond our control. Now,
Okay.
in the absence of the law that we have our Accountant General, there should be another law, Mr. Chairman, that will allow a window where the reports, the consolidated report can be adopted before either the Auditor General. I think that's a lacuna in our law. That is why.
Which is also beyond her own purview. You are the lawmakers.
Yes.
So bring up a bill to.
It's still beyond her purview.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Yamba.
Mr. Chairman, we can say for any investor, for any business, the annual audited financial report determines a lot of factors.
Thank you,
And
Honorable.
at the moment, you agree with me, we don't have a audited financial report on the economy or the finance of the country. I think I'm right.
Thank you, Honorable. Figure that we pay as salaries and emoluments as of today, monthly as a country. And then what is the total number of recipients of such payments? So please add that to the information that we require. Thank you very much.
On this issue of a double payment in the month of
June.
No,
she's answering. She just said she missed the answers. So she, yeah.
Go ahead. This happened nearly a month after my adoption of duty. And when I was informed that there was that problem affecting the polytechnic, we asked for how did it happen. I think in the course of making payment, it was an error. It was it was not a mistake that was not deliberate. Just like if you are making payment on your phone, you click first time, it goes, you have not received an alert, you click again. By the time you are receiving an alert, you receive an alert for two
debit.
And you begin to imagine when you make two payments. So that was exactly what happened. And immediately, the gateway was alerted and they started blocking those that have not moved out to the deposit money bank. And the entire amount were retrieved at the end of the day for the double.
100% retrieved.
Yes, 100% recovery.
Okay.
Next month, you know, she will like.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, if that is the case now,
Okay.
do they have the warrant? Do they have that capacity to be able to do that double payment. So I feel, because